Go.
Go.
Hey.
Go.
Go.
What are you doing with that
I'm
thing?
don't you didn't see that? What are you talking about?
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
looking for my I'm looking for my quiet keyboard.
Oh no. Is it over
I think
across the
I
way?
think I think it's across the way. I'll just use my loud keyboard
Yeah, use the
unless
loud
someone
one, man. Use
brings it to me.
the clickety clackety.
Yeah. Maybe a particular hero of a friend of mine of a lovely sort might bring me a silent keyboard. But oh, whoa, there's some magic going on.
Magic. I love magic.
I love magic.
Except for when it's magical.
Yeah, magical magic is horrible.
Magical magic is yeah. You know what I forgot to
Oh,
do? I forgot to do
thank
something.
you, magic. Thank you, magic person. Appreciate it.
I forgot.
You're
Man,
loved. I love you. Bye bye. You're the
I love you
best.
too. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Yay. Get a better silent keyboard so that you guys don't have to hear me clickety clack clickety click clack like a
Clickety clack,
typewriter.
clickety clack. Yeah. We win. All right, welcome everybody to Don't Worry Wednesday. This is our show, and yes, the gang is back together. We put the band back together.
We put the
Pretty
band back
amazing.
together again.
We did
Again,
it
again.
again, just for you guys, because we love you guys, and
That's right.
yeah. So, oh, interesting. Oh, how interesting.
What'd you find?
I missed something when I was setting all this up, of course, because that's how I roll. There we go. I got it figured out. I think I got it. I think I got it.
That's good. You think you got it?
I did. I got it.
Oh.
Man, I got.
You
All
think
right.
you got it? Oh, you
All
think
right.
you got it?
All right.
All right. That's exactly where I was going. You did it on accident.
Yeah, man. Cool. All right, well, welcome everybody to Don't Worry Wednesday. It is great to be back. I've missed you guys for the past 2 weeks. It's been a busy time for me and my children and baseball season and all kinds of fun stuff. So I've been Wednesday evenings, I've been at baseball games, which is a lot of fun, but I also missed you guys a ton, and I'm really glad to be back. So yeah, it's awesome. But welcome. This is a show that we do that's all about you guys. It's all about the stuff that you're going through, any topics that you want us to talk about. You can feel free to go to don'tworrywednesday.com, click the submit a topic button, and then fill out the form, and we'd be happy to do your topic. We are not licensed professionals.
Correct.
We're not licensed therapists, and I'm not a licensed dietitian. So all that whole banter about eating tent steaks earlier,
They weren't here for that.
I put it in the chat.
Oh, okay. Well, okay.
I was recounting our conversation. So
all right, that's
if
why
it's a
you
wood
brought
steak,
it up. Okay.
you totally could do it. But you're right. You'd have to shave it all down, make sawdust out of it, and it'd be the same as the like powdery stuff that you find on shredded cheese, which is just like basically sawdust.
Yeah, yum.
Yeah,
it's hard to not like the taste of sawdust when it's in your cheese or in your seasonings to help keep things from caking.
I know, right? I mean,
it's just the best.
But it's good, and apparently it's not bad for you. So
well, it's just wood. So yeah, why would it be bad?
Cellulose.
That's right.
Throw it on some tacos.
Yum.
Call it a day, man. Yeah, absolutely. Welcome. Wow, we've got a whole bunch of people in the chat. You guys look great. Riku, Cat, Astral, Incarnate, Saule, Meow. Welcome, Meow. James. Neon Sight. It's great to see all you guys. Did I mention Hatsu? I don't know if I mentioned Hatsu. Hatsu is here.
Hatsu. Welcome. Okay.
Yo.
Just gonna cover that one a little extra in case you missed it.
Yes, awesome. So yes, we're not professional counselors, therapists, psychologists, psychiatrists, or anything of that nature. We just want to be your friend, and we want to help in any way we possibly can. And in a lot of cases, we've referred people, and probably still will refer people to a counselor if need be. Which a lot of cases, man, I've been seeing my therapist. It's going on 2 years. almost 2 years since I started seeing my therapist, and we've worked through a lot of stuff, a lot of Joe baggage happens, right? So, yeah, but it can be very helpful to have a professional that you can talk to that can help unpack all the stuff going on in our heads and in our hearts because,
Mm.
man, we are complicated beings and stuff hits us all the time. And,
Oh yeah.
we can get totally, our brains can get just out of whack. And
Mm-hmm.
I've definitely been there before. Some of you guys that have gotten to listen to me talk about stuff, I apologize.
No reason to apologize. I mean, honestly, part of it's partly it's good for the show because it allows other people to feel more real, like because you're having real problems and they can see that, and they can see like, hey, look, if this guy can have his problems and
And
still
he,
go out of his way to jump on a show to try to help others, then
mm,
hey, I think that's a big deal.
yeah, thank you. And thank you guys. I wasn't necessarily talking about here on the show, although you guys have definitely heard me
Oh,
vent. But
mm-hmm.
there are some of you guys that I've DM'd with you, and you've
Oh, fair enough.
heard all kinds of stuff. And
Oh yeah.
I love you.
Who?
I will name names.
Every one of them.
Yes, Kat, you DM me. Hatsu,
I
you
do
DM me.
too.
Aw, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much. I love
Mm-hmm.
talking to you guys. Man, it's so great. It's so
Mm-hmm.
great to have friends. And yeah. So anyway, we're gonna let's see if we can get started here. We've got a couple thank yous actually. And did we I forgot. We talked about this, Ryan. Did we want to thank you for that?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Let's start with those. Might as
Let's
well.
start. I'm gonna
We've
thank
got
you.
two of them.
Thank you, Ryan.
Okay.
Thank you.
I want to thank you too.
Uh, I want to
I
thank
want to thank you. Na
thank
na
you,
na na na.
thank you, Kat. You're
Mm-hmm.
amazing.
Yeah.
Kat, Kat just sent me a DM.
Oh, fun. Cat, I feel jealous.
Oh,
Just
you
kidding.
need to send that to Ryan. He would like it. Awesome.
I'm
Yes.
waiting.
It's great. I mean, who doesn't want that in their DM?
Oh my. Now everybody wants to know what it is. Y- You're just making her. You're forcing her into positions where she has to send
I'm
everybody. Oh my
sorry. I'm
gosh.
not. This is just a suggestion.
That's hilarious. I actually love it. What? That is adorable. Thank you, Kat. That's exactly everything I've ever wanted.
Yes. Oh, Hatsu, thank you for your DM. And Cell, you are just
Mm-hmm.
getting over having your wisdom teeth removed. I remember having my wisdom teeth removed. James, you did too. Man, I'll tell you what, I'll never forget getting back from having my wisdom teeth out, sitting down
Mm.
all drugged up, because they put me out and then they had to wake me
Oh
up
yeah.
and then they gave me all kinds of pain medicines and everything. And then I just laid there on the couch and watched The Big Lebowski.
Well then.
And I slept through most of it, I think. But but that's okay. Yes, wisdom teeth removal is super fun, and yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it was a
Support
great
group.
time. But yeah, all right. Well,
Yeah.
let's we'll uh we'll start with a thank you message here.
Let's
Actually, we'll
do
start
that.
with a few. Yeah, we'll do a few.
Let's
So I'm
do.
gonna
Let's do
put
it.
this up on the screen. This one's from Gray, and it's a simple thank you, and I'll put it up on the screen. It says, "Not actually a topic, but instead a simple thank you mail. Over 5 years ago, y'all gave me some advice. In particular, embrace the awkward. Because of that
Yeah.
advice, I'm now married with my best friend from back then. So I
Cool.
just wanted to thank Static and Joe for the advice from back then." Aw,
Ah, that's so
congratulations.
awesome. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. That rocks. Way to go.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And
Way
I'm
to go,
glad I'm
Gray.
glad things are going well for you and that you've been able to
Me too.
embrace the awkward. Let me tell you about being married. You will have many chances to embrace the awkward.
Oh yeah. That's
Mm-hmm.
great.
So you can keep it up. Keep it up.
Keep
You're
it.
gonna do great. So
Hmm.
and then we have another one from Logan. Logan has a thank you message here. And I will put that up on the screen and read it as well. Logan says, "Hello. This isn't a question, but I wanted to send Ryan a note and didn't know how else to do it. Haha. I wanted to say thank you so much for your music and these streams. Joe too for the latter. Many of the messages in Criminal Idol got me through high school, and I'm now a college junior and still appreciate them and the new ones since then so dearly. I hope you already know how many lives you've touched, but I wanted to tell you with this. I can't begin to imagine how many more people like me you've helped." Ah,
Thank
you
you.
guys are so
Yeah.
awesome. Logan, thank you
You
so
guys are
much.
so awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You guys are the best. I don't. I unfortunately don't know how many lives I've touched, and I don't think I ever will. But I hope, I have touched at least a couple in a way that, that's good.
Violently?
That's why we do all this violently. Yeah, violently
I
good.
mean, I mean, I no touched people in a violently. I've touched
Yeah,
people violently. You know, that's part of being in martial arts. It kind of works like that.
that's true. Well, yeah, that's martial arts is it's a, it's a touching activity.
Yes, you punch and you kick and everything. You know, it's funny
Hmm.
because we it was great
Violent
in
touching.
the Static P Friends server we were talking about. It's not, I think it was Kat who said, detective is going to dance and no one can tell him, no one's going to tell him not to. And I was like, I'll tell him not to. Because he knows I'm in charge.
Oh, that's right. I'll just write the script differently.
That's right. Exactly, right? So, and he can punch all he wants. And then he'll just be tired and I'll still be in charge.
Yeah.
How that works.
Cat Honk, you said pow pow nun punch. Okay, first of all, that comes off the tongue really well, and then I realized nunchuck. That is that is a weird compound word.
Probably we
Why
shouldn't
would you
be in the business of punching or chucking nuns.
or checking nuns? Yo, I need to see memes of people checking nuns, even though I don't think that's a very good thing to do.
Oh,
If it's
yes.
people checking nuns, it better be other nuns. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, they can chuck each other and punch each
I want
other,
to see a nun
probably.
with a nunchuck.
Although I did get to fight with a priest once. That was fun. And I've fought with pastors.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Like a physical fight or a
Yes. Well,
battle
sparring.
of the wits. Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Man, there's this
Hmm.
Baptist minister who had like legs made of steel and he'd like kick me in the face. It hurt.
How? Why are you fighting? Are you fighting these people?
Dude, hey, when you're on your way to black belt, you fight a lot of people.
You fight a lot of people, including priests and
Priests and ministers. Yes, there was this priest who
you
came in.
just like
He wanted to join our Krav Maga,
I,
the Krav Maga class and everything. Man, it was.
I just like envisioning like it's Mr. Miyagi and he's like, if you want to become a black belt, you need to set forth on a journey. Like just wrestle everybody you meet.
Yes.
Spar with everything. The
Yep.
tree, the bear, and your priests.
Yep. It was crazy. Like the same priest. I saw him in the confessional too once, and and he was so cool, man. He's just like at the end, he does his whole, God the Father, mercy, and you're absolved from your sins. In the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. He's like, your sins are forgiven, man. Go in peace. And he like high fived me and everything, and I was
I love it.
like,
That's great.
it's like perfect. But anyway,
Completely different attitude.
yeah, he was pretty cool.
That sounds
But
pretty great.
Astral, you are right that you were the one that said Detective would randomly break out into dance. He would. And then Kat said,
Mm.
nobody would tell him not to. And I was like, I will.
Mm. That's right, because you're a black belt.
Cause yeah, and he works for
That's what Jesus would do.
BSS.
That's right. Um, my patron saint, Giovanni Bosco,
Hmm.
he wrestled a few people. There was a dude who came in and he was just being obnoxious, and he was threatening his estate and or younger people and trying to take away like Giovanni Bosco set up a home for a bunch of young boys
Mm-hmm.
who are homeless, and so he gave a bunch of young homeless boys a home. And some dude came in trying to do some weird like stuff, and then Giovanni Bosco literally picked him up and threw out the window.
Wow.
Ministrated.
Yes, I like it. That's
Yeah,
great.
after punching him, by the way. I'm like, dang, this priest. That's he's got balls. Most of them don't do that. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
He's trying to
He's
cause trouble, you know? Yeah, defenestration. That's it. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, Riku, I'm super glad that we gave you the luck to catch your favorite legendary Pokemon.
Whoa.
I had
You're
no
welcome.
idea our influence would go so far into
Yeah.
the world of
Can I charge
Pokemon.
interest
Like
on that a little bit? I think I deserve at least 1%.
1% of a
If I'm to
Pokemon?
blame, yeah, I get 1% of that Pokemon. Like it's left toe or something.
I
Most left
mean,
of all the left toe.
I was like, it only has one left toe.
Yeah, well, it has one toe that's on the farthest to the left.
Oh, I got you. So if it
I'm
was like a
guessing.
person, it'd be the pinky left.
Yeah, it'd be left pinky
The left
toe.
pinky. Yeah, unless that one had
Um,
already been gone, and then it'd be the left other next.
yeah.
Unless that one was
Yeah,
also
yeah,
gone,
that's
then.
right. Yeah.
You know, that's true. It might only have one left toe.
Uh-huh.
because I don't know which Pokemon it is. If it's
Yeah,
Flabebe,
so most
then
Pokemon
like,
don't have toes. They just have weird round endings. They all
oh,
have just
leg
nubs.
endings.
Yeah, they all just have nubs for their. They don't have any like fingers or toes. They just have nubs, right? Or
Ah, the
talons. That's
nubs.
true. Some of them have talons or
Yes.
claws.
And
Hmm.
Saule, you know what? One toe left. We're getting the puns in here, right? Like, hey,
Yeah.
I recently had a van that only
Thanks,
had
Satsu.
one toe left.
Have a good night.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's funny, Joe. Well played. That's so dumb. I love it.
It only
That's
had one
actually a
toe.
good
They
use of the
came
word.
and I used it up. They
That's
took
right.
it. They gave me money and they took my van away that didn't work anymore and
Mhm.
yeah. Anyway, all right. Meow, thank
Thanks,
you.
Meow.
Since Princess is not
Yeah, we all
here, I'm keeping
recognize.
my
We started with a weird one because we're doing thank yous. Thank you also. So those who thanked us, thank you so much for taking time to write us a thank you. We really appreciate that, and it means a lot to us. So thank you a lot. It really does make a difference to hear and be encouraged to keep on trying
hmm
to do the best we can in this world. So thank you
hmm
so much.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. And thank you guys for being here in the chat. You guys are amazing. You guys are way fun to hang out with. And
Hmm.
what do you say? You think we ought to start like we ought to do a topic?
Yeah, yeah. Let's do it.
A
Let's do
topic
it. Let's do
topic?
it. Hmm.
Do we have anything that's urgent? We do. Um okay, but these are ones from Hatsu who wants to be present. Um and Hatsu just left.
Oh
Oh,
no. No, we have other urgent. We have one from Sparrow,
we do have an urgent one from Sparrow.
and they said they will not be present, so that we could do that one.
Yes. Okay. Well, let's start with that one. What do you say?
All right, let's do it.
Time for
Sounds
another
great.
good idea, bad idea. Good idea, starting with that one. Bad
There we go.
idea. I don't know. What would be a bad idea? Chat,
Closing the
what would be a
stream down,
bad idea?
turning off your microphone. There's all sorts of bad ideas.
That
Don't pick any of them.
don't
You don't need to know what the bad ideas are. Just don't pick any.
don't pick them. Don't
Yeah. Don't ask me.
why? Cuz you don't know cuz you're so awesome that you don't even know what a bad idea would be.
Yeah, the bad idea would be like only giving a one sentence response. I
Oh,
agree, Astral. A one sentence response would be quite bad.
yeah. All right, cool. Well, we will try to
Thanks for
avoid the bad ideas. Oh, you don't believe in good or bad. So all ideas are just neutral?
Mm,
All
interesting.
right. Yeah. All right, cool. Well, we're going to start with this one from Sparrow. So I will put it up on the screen. Meow, that is absolutely right. Bad idea is giving me lasagna. I will tornado round kick it at the window.
No, giving Joe lasagna is a great idea because he'll probably give it to me, and I like lasagna.
Yeah, I'll give it to you after I tornado round kick it at the window, and then you can have it.
Yeah, yeah, I'd like that too.
Yeah.
I'd love a window touch tornado line kicked lasagna, please.
Well, what if I did the wushu butterfly kick?
It's okay.
Yeah.
Not my
I mean, it's
favorite.
got some extra wushu on it.
All right, let's do the topic, eh? I don't care for the wushu sauce.
Yeah, okay. All right. Well, let's I'll put this up on the screen and you guys can read along while I read it aloud. So, this is called this is called Her Mom Doesn't Like Me from Sparrow. And so it goes like this. Hey guys, Sparrow is back. I haven't been here for a while because my life has been looking up. I wanted to thank all of you guys for the help that I really needed. But on to the current problem at hand. I have a girlfriend now, and her mom really doesn't like me. I don't know why or what I did to make her think this way, but it is really worrying me. Will a relationship work if their family is against you two dating? I have a feeling Joe would probably know how to answer this, lol. But hey, sorry for not being here. I've been dealing with my own problems, and they have ironically happened on Thursdays or Fridays. Thank you guys. From Sparrow.
Thank
So
you, Sparrow.
awesome. Thank you very much, Sparrow. Thank you for the topic and for opening up about this. This is definitely it could go either way, in my opinion. Um it I've seen it work where, a family, like if family members don't like the person that their child is dating, I've seen situations work out and I've seen situations not work out. And I've seen situations not work out when the family really likes the person they're dating. And, like there's, so this doesn't necessarily either make or break your relationship, because just because somebody doesn't like you right now doesn't mean they will always not like you. And it's the same
Mhm.
vice versa. Just because somebody likes you right now doesn't mean they're always going to like you. And, because we grow and we change and we go through stuff and things happen and all kinds of stuff. You never know where this life might take us. So
That's right.
I. Yes. So, um, yeah, will the relationship work? Um, I don't know. It could, or it might not. You might with a family member not liking you. It can add to the drama of the relationship. There can definitely be some interesting things, and it kind of depends on why it is they don't like you. If there's some kind of a dynamic of control, sometimes parents are like that with their children, where the parents they'll really like to kind of be in charge of their kids, even on into adulthood. And when a parent sees a romantic relationship coming in that can threaten their grasp on their children, maybe, and so then that might be an issue that the parent has to work through in their mind, maybe with a therapist, to help them understand that as parents we're not here to manage our kids or micromanage our kids or to run their lives for them. Our job as parents is to raise them so they can be good, healthy, upstanding adults that are solid. And I see a lot of parents I think it's probably natural for parents to get attached to their kids. I mean, in some ways, I'm attached to my kids, and there's healthy attachment and there's unhealthy attachment, and really the question in my mind as a parent is, what am I doing this for? Am I doing this for my own sense of self-worth, or am I doing this to give my kids the best shot they could possibly have in the world, you know? And so I have to kind of run things through that filter. Am I doing this because I see my kids as an extension of me and I want to be proud of me, and so I want to be proud of my kids because they're an extension of me? That's probably the wrong way to look at it. Or do I see my kids as individuals and respect them as individuals, and do I want to do the best I can to help them grow into who they're supposed to be in this world? So if, as long as I keep that question in my head, I seem to make decent decisions. Sometimes, I mean, parenting, you never know. There's no manual for parenting. There's all kind of books out there about parenting, and all of them have all kinds of opinions. But parenting is not a one size fits all endeavor, because we're dealing with humans, and all humans are unique and individuals, right? And so, like, it can be an interesting thing. So that could be the dynamic, or they might see something that they don't like in you that maybe just irks them or bothers them or something, and so maybe that needs to get worked out. There might have to be some conversations with the parent in order to help them understand where you're coming from, you know. But understand, we're all people, and we all have foibles. We all have issues. We all have, you know, blind spots and everything like that. And parents are no different. Parents have blind spots. Parents have insecurities. Parents have things that they're not correct about. You know, all of us are human beings. And the more we can respect each other as human beings and understand that we need to be gracious toward others, whether we're feeling like we're being abused by them or whatever, you know, we understand, hey, they're a person. They're not always right. They're not perfect, and neither am I. And so if I'm not perfect, I can't expect another person to be perfect either, right? And sometimes we struggle with that. I know I have, but I've already talked for a while. I'm going to turn it over to Ryan because I'm sure Ryan has amazing stuff to say. So, Ryan, it is all yours, my friend.
Yeah, no, Julia, I think it was a phenomenal job. I think that was all, you covered a lot of really good points there. And I can only, I think, continue on a couple of them. I would say, first off, from my understanding, don't let someone, no matter how close that person is to this individual, right? Don't let someone get in the way of you becoming, or you acting out what is the best version of yourself. And secondly, don't let someone else get in the way of another person becoming the best version of themselves. And the reason I say that is because you asked if a relationship can work out if the mom or the family is against you dating. Obviously, the answer is, of course, it can work out. The thing is, if you are helping that person to become the best version of themselves, then you're doing. It doesn't matter what other people's opinions are. And if you're becoming the best version of yourself, it doesn't matter what other people's opinions are, no matter who they are or how close they are to you, right? That is a job that you can take on and you can try to help your significant other with, but there are going to be reasons people want to get in your way, and Joe listed a few. Whether that be a certain amount of attachment, something that they don't like about you, something that they're perceiving wrong about you. They're getting the wrong idea about something, or they see something in you that isn't perfect, and they're maximizing the cons because you have this one flaw that they saw, right? That's pretty typical of human behavior. So especially when it comes to something like this person is trying to be with my daughter forever, and this is a really important decision, and I want to protect my daughter, type of thing, you know. And it's like I wouldn't want my child to be around someone that I think is not good for them, right? If I think that this, even my friend, right? If I have a friend and they go, wow, I don't want my friend being around this other person because this other person's going to encourage them to go the wrong direction in life. Or they're going to influence their behavior in the wrong way. That's going to reduce their ability to become the best version of themselves, right? And so here's kind of my take on it. If I was dating someone and their mom didn't like me or their dad, my first response would be interiorly, this is what my thinking would be. If they don't like me, then they don't know me yet.
Mm-hmm.
If they don't like me, then they don't know me yet. And I don't say that because I'm being egotistical. I'm not saying that because I think I'm the best person in the world or I'm perfect without flaw or anything along those lines. I just know that that genuinely is the truth for everybody. Pretty much. If they don't like me, then they just don't know me yet. I mean, sure, there are people who have terrible intentions on purpose of having terrible intentions. Like they're malevolent people out there, sure. There are people who desire to do bad things, sure,
Mm-hmm.
right? But most people aren't that way. And I'll tell you, most of the people that have come to this stream in particular are good people, especially you, Sparrow. I mean, you've been on our stream so many times and you've shared your thoughts and your heart and the way that you think about things and the kind of person you are. And you're awesome. And so I think if I were you, that's what I'd be saying to myself. If they don't like me, they just don't know me yet. Because anyone who gets to know me will like me. Because I have nothing, because I'm just a gift. And there's no reason that they should dislike me. I have nothing to offer them that isn't good. You know, sure, I come with flaws. Sure, I come packed with, you know, issues, whatever they are. But my intentions are good. And I aim to be a gift of love to this particular individual and their family.
Mm.
And so if that's my intention and that's what I'm carrying out, if they don't like me, then they're getting something wrong. They're casting some kind of doubt into the scenario from their own eyes, from their own lens, and the way that they see things, and it has probably very little to do with you. So, anyways, that would be my take on it personally. Interiorly, it's probably my own dialogue. Um, is how I would do that. Because what that does is it allows you to have the confidence to go in and talk with them and make a friend.
Mm-hmm.
If I, because I've journeyed through this life for a long time, and I've lived the life of being overly self-conscious, having a low self-esteem, being worried about what other people think about me, and thinking that I'm not a very, I'm not a super great person, and there's plenty to hate, and I'm not attractive, and there's no reason other people should ever like me. I've had all those thoughts, right? I've
Mm-hmm.
gone down that road. I've also gone down the road that I'm talking to you about right now, where you just say, if they don't, if they don't like me, they just don't know me yet. And I'll tell you, how you speak to others changes completely when you're worried about how they think about you. If you're worried about how people think about you, because you're worried they are going to dislike something about the way that you say something or certain personality traits are just going to dislike you, chances are you're not going to be able to be yourself. And being yourself is the most attractive thing. You know, people are attracted to people who can just be themselves.
Mm-hmm.
It's super attractive. It's just like it's nice because you can see they're genuine and they're good people. And it's obvious and you're just like, okay, I like them. So, Sparrow, I think you should just, I don't know, let them learn. You go do you you work on your relationship with your significant other. And if ever arises a situation where you can talk with their mom, let their mom get to know you. Be kind, be gentle, be open. You don't have to hide things, right? Just be open. Be sincere, be loving. And I think if you do that, you to probably resolve the issue. Because chances are they just don't know you yet. And the things they think they know are wrong. The things they think they know are why they don't like you. Because I've seen that a lot of, like, that's so common. People who, I mean, it's in the way you said it. I mean, you said, I don't know why or what I did to make her think this way, but it really worries me. But it's really worrying me, right?
Mm-hmm.
It seems to me that she just doesn't know you, and that's
Mm.
the only problem. That's probably the only problem. So get to know her. Be good to her. Be honest and be you. And I think that that'll solve the problem. Um, but either way, you try to do the right things, regardless of what other people think. You try to do the right things for your girl and protect her and try to help her become the best version of herself, right? That's what a good relationship is always, right? The best teachers in life are the ones that help us to become the best version of ourselves, right? The best friends, same thing. Best partners, same thing, right? So you be that person and don't worry about what other people think. That's what I got. Go. Go for it.
Were you telling
I didn't
me to
mean you,
go
Joe. I
for
just
it?
mean them. But yeah,
Oh, I
if you
was
want,
like,
if you want to,
sorry.
yeah.
I was like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
I was in the middle of
Yeah.
drinking a drink of water,
Oh,
and
now
I'm
it's Joe's turn. He's in the middle.
I'm like,
Yeah, I just waited till he was taking that drink so that I could mess with him. Yeah. I mean, to me, it's plain and simple. I mean, there are plenty of people who they look at me once and they're like, I don't like that guy. He's got long hair, blah, 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 blah. And then they get to know me over the course of a minute and they're like, oh, I really like that guy.
mm,
Happens all the time to me.
mm-hmm,
People have their preconceived notions, especially if it's concerning someone like their daughter is going to be with this guy. You know, there could be any number of things. They're looking for problems in you because that's their job. They believe that's their job to
mm-hmm.
protect their daughter. So what you need to do is help disarm them by letting them get to know you. That's it. Yeah. Well, that's all I got.
Oh, I, for reals this time?
Yeah, for reals.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you, Ryan. And you're
Welcome.
absolutely right. Sparrow, take heed to what Ryan has said because there's a lot of truth there that, just because somebody doesn't like you, that doesn't mean that there's something wrong with you. It just might mean that they are prejudging you in some way, shape, or form. And, or they're skeptical because they might be protective of their child, like Ryan was talking about. And, because of that protective nature, they might be skeptical of you. And so they don't want to just automatically start liking you because they don't want to have anything be like caught off guard or anything like that. And so, their guard is up, right? So
Yeah.
how do you bring that down? And Ryan was talking about, like to just spend some time with them would be great. And if it's really getting uncomfortable, if there's getting to be like weird, like snide comments or looks or whatever, and
Mm-hmm.
if it's just getting to this point, like, man, sometimes you might have to embrace the awkward and talk to them. And I know this this can get really weird,
Mm-hmm.
but and it takes some guts. I've had to do it before. It's scary. And but really it usually turns out better than you think it will in the end. But you might just have to go talk to him and just say, hey, you know what? So I'm getting the feeling that you don't really like me that much. Is there something I did to make you upset? Is there something that I've done that has caused you to not like me? Is there something that you've heard that I've done that, like, I mean, because I really, really like your daughter and I plan on dating her, and I would like us to be able to get along, and I would like us to get to know each other and to like each other. And, it's important to me that we resolve this. And just you taking that first step, their response will say a lot about their character. And you will probably have your answer right away. If they kind of start stammering and like, I mean, it is kind of a loaded, pointed question, right? It's kind of so it is kind of one of those instances where it's like, hey, you're just laying it all out and like, hey, what's the deal? And you should be nice about it. You don't have to like get all up in their face. This is not the time for violence. This is not the time for verbal violence or physical violence, any kind of violence. This is a time for asking, and in your mind, in your heart, asking with the intent of learning the answer, because you don't know the answer. Don't ask the question digging for some kind of a response, because there are multiple ways we can ask a question. We can ask, hey, like I'm getting the feeling you don't really like me. I'm confused by this. I don't understand why. Can we talk about this? Is a lot different than asking in a way that it's like, hey, why don't you like me? Because now you're being confrontational, right? And you're kind of expecting a fight. So if you go into it with your mental dukes up, ready to fight,
you'll get a fight.
It's not going to go very well, right? So, if you ask with an inquisitive nature and just like a confusion, like a sense of, I'm really at a loss. I don't understand what's going on here. Is there something we can talk about to figure this out? And with the goal of smoothing things out for your relationship with your girlfriend, because really, to have a strained relationship with a family of your spouse or your girlfriend or your significant other, your partner, or whatever, right? I mean, those strained relationships can be really hard to deal with. And I've been through it. Been through strained relationships. What's that?
Said especially if they keep family real close.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Now, sometimes I know people out there that, like their family members are a bit crazy, and this person, like if I was going to go date somebody and they thought, my family's crazy, so we're going to just kind of go off on our own and be our own couple, and that'll be it. Like that to me might be the lowest drag kind of a relationship, but also it is nice to have family support when you need it, because there are going to be times that are stressful, and it's nice to have somebody who will get in their car and come help you, when you need help. And, to have that backup is nice. When you're all alone out in the world, it can get kind of difficult, and when something happens, it can, be more difficult than if you have the support of close friends or family members or whatever. So it'd be really good if you could smooth this out. Now, you may be able to, or you may not be able to. It's not up to you. And sometimes you can approach this in the best possible manner, and you can come across in the least offensive way possible, and it still won't mend things.
Mm-hmm.
Because some people just have their minds made up. I've seen situations with friends of mine whose parents there was somebody that they were maybe going to be dating or whatever, and the parents just hated them, and then but they would not ever talk to the person. They would avoid them, and it's like, well, how can you know if you don't like somebody if you never talk to them? This just is a prejudgment,
Mm-hmm.
and it's ridiculous.
Balls on it. Mm-hmm.
I've experienced it before. I'm sure Ryan's experienced it before. But it's like when
I've
somebody...
been on both sides of that fence, unfortunately.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, I mean, especially like when I was younger, just make a judgment about someone. I'd never even talked to him before. I'm like, I don't like that guy, you know?
Oh, I thought you were talking about somebody you were dating that your mom didn't like.
Oh
or
no, I
something.
just meant in the
Because I
general
was like,
concept of.
who does your mom not like? Like seriously, like your mom.
No,
Your
my mom's
mom's
awesome.
amazing. But anyway, so but it doesn't. It's not going to make or break the relationship. Okay, it's going to be okay. And here's the thing: your relationship, if it lasts for a while, then you're going to have a lot of things to overcome, and this is just one of them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as you partner up with someone, you have two human beings with their own opinions and their own thoughts and their own challenges and their own issues and all this kind of stuff, and you put those two together and you try and make it work. It can get pretty intense, and there's going to be challenges to overcome. And this is just one challenge, right? And it's okay. And however it works out, it can work out. And it will test the strength of your relationship with your girlfriend, possibly. It may cause you to get closer together to work through this. But, you know, what I would do is depending on how things go, like what Ryan was saying, if you can just go in and be positive and be you and understand that you are a likable person.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, your girlfriend likes you.
Mm-hmm.
You're a likable person. And for them to just flat out reject that without getting to know you, that's really their problem. And the more that you show that you're willing to try, it will expose whether or not her parents are willing to try. Or her mom or whoever, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
and so I don't know. I mean, I've seen it go both ways though, because sometimes people are wrapped up into their family members. I've been in a relationship where, you know, my the significant other that I had was super attached to family, and it really didn't go very well. It was really problematic. And
Mm-hmm.
but that's a whole nother ball of wax. And you know, as things
Mm-hmm.
progress, maybe you can ask about that. But I'll tell you, to answer your question, will the relationship work if the family is against you two dating? Maybe, maybe not. It depends on a lot of factors. But you keep being you. And, you know, if the relationship is supposed to work out, it will. If it's not, then it won't. And either way, whether it does or it doesn't, you're in for a lifetime of joy and sadness and ups and downs and all things that, I mean, it's all going to come your way regardless. I remember when my buddy got married and they had like this big, huge fight on their wedding day, like at the reception. Like there's this big, huge like dispute, right? And it was crazy. Like, and the father of the bride came up to me. I was the best man, and so I'm just sitting there like I'm just trying to like, you know, maintain some kind of order a little bit. I'm trying my best and failing at it basically. But I remember the father of the bride coming up to me and he's just like, "Man, first day they've only been married for a few hours and they're already having marriage problems." And I looked at him and I said, "Man, I guarantee you once you get married, you're going to have married problems." If you're single, you're going to have single problems. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like you're just going to have problems. So the key
Mm-hmm.
isn't like, oh, we got problems. We might as well just throw it all in the trash. No, you're going to have problems. The key is figuring them out, solving them. And if you can work together to solve them, great. Right? But no matter what, it's, hey, if you're married, you have marriage problems. If you're single, you have single problems. If you're engaged, you got engagement problems. If you're dating, you got dating problems. If you got a dog, you got dog problems. If you got a hamster, you got hamster problems. If you got a goldfish, you got goldfish problems. If you have a twerking bumblebee, you got twerking bumblebee problems. Like all kinds of stuff. So anyway, Sparrow, I think you're going to be just fine. But and feel free to DM myself or Ryan. Well, I
Yeah.
shouldn't speak for Ryan. You can DM me.
Yeah, you should DM me.
And if you got any specifics, you can go ahead and share. Or if you wanted to share another topic and delve into this farther, we can totally do that too. But yeah, I think things are going to be okay. It's just one of those things that you're going to get to overcome together, and relationships are going to be full of that. No matter, I mean, that's just how it works. So I don't know. That's what I have. Ryan, did you have anything more that you wanted to say?
I just want to say, read the chat. There's a lot of good things going on there, and
I should read the chat.
yeah, um,
Bug
and
shaker.
they'll cover the ground that we didn't cover, I suppose. And one last thing, talk it over with your significant other, with your girlfriend. See what they have to say about it, and then yeah, if they don't like it for whatever reason, and they say they'll never like it. Well, some people are like that. Doesn't matter. You still have love in your heart that's for this other person. Don't snuff out love just because someone else isn't loving, right? I mean, that's obvious. Don't snuff out love just because the other person of a third party doesn't want you to love that person or that person to receive your love or whatever, right? That's just dumb. So
Mm-hmm.
go for it, give it your best, and see where it leads you.
Mm-hmm. Astral Incarnate says, yes, always talk with your partner about problems. Communication is the most important part of every relationship. And that's probably the
Mm-hmm.
first conversation you need to have, in fact.
Yeah.
I would probably
Mm-hmm.
talk, it would be a good idea to talk to your girlfriend and say, hey,
Mm-hmm.
does your mom really not like me? Like, how should we approach this? Like, because, you know, that would be a really good first step if you haven't done that already. But excuse me, to get some input from your girlfriend about how might there be a good way to navigate this, or if there's any information that she can share with you about why this is happening or whatever, right? Like, that would be a really good first conversation to have before you dig into the further conversations, because it can go really weird
Mm-hmm.
once you lay it all out and say, hey, I hear you have a problem with me, can we talk about this?
Mm.
That's an awkward moment. Now we should embrace the awkward, right?
But we
Like
shouldn't
Ryan said.
force it in places where it doesn't need to be all the
Exactly.
time. Sometimes we
Exactly.
can.
So it's good to do a
But when
little
there's something on the line,
reconnaissance.
don't.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Now sometimes you just got to have that conversation, and it's critical,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
and it can be daunting. But
Mm-hmm.
I've had that conversation multiple times. It's kind of interesting because you get that jolt of adrenaline
Oh
as
yeah.
soon as the words leave your mouth and they look at you.
Just before like literally every hour up until you do it as well.
I know. It's wild. And then all of a sudden, like it's out there. There's
Yeah,
no
it's out
turning
there. It's just
back
like
now, man. I can't
the words
hide
are there.
anymore. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. It's great.
And
I love
then
that.
and then you're in it, man, and you get that
Mm-hmm.
adrenaline, you get that, that ooh, and you know,
Mm-hmm.
it's pretty
I always
wild.
feel like I always feel like it's better after I say it. Like up until the point it's like I'm trying to build up a wave. And then finally I say it, so the wave comes, and all I have to do is ride the wave out. That's the way I feel about it. I don't know. As soon as I just let it out from my chest, it's like, oh, it's there now. Let's just ride it out. Because I know I can handle things from here.
Mm-hmm.
But up to that point, it's just like everything's on the line. I don't know how things are going to turn out. I don't know what, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Oh,
But once
astral incarnate.
yeah.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry, Ryan.
Oh, I'm just going to say, like, because at that point, it comes in, everyone's on board for problem solving mode, or at least you're in that arena. Because before that, you're not solving any problems. You're just processing one and not putting out into the world because you're afraid of how other people might feel, which is not a great position. So yeah,
Yep. One of the things
feels
that
good to
I,
let out.
one of the things I like to know about myself is that I've tried everything I possibly could. And in trying to solve one of these issues or trying to fix one of these issues, and it's just like, you know what? I will try. I will work. I will hold on. I will be loyal. Like that's the type of person I am. I do not like running from a problem. I like to handle it. And it might take me some time to figure out the best way to try and handle a problem. But I won't back down and I will try my hardest. And I look back on the relationships that I've had and I'm like, you know what? I did. I tried everything I possibly could. I did the best that I possibly could. And I tried and I tried and I tried and I held on for way too long sometimes. Even my priest was like, I don't know how you stayed in that for so long. Like, I don't know how you did that because that was clearly abusive and you like I'd have been out of there years ago, right? Like, but I don't know, man. I'll hold on and I'll keep trying and keep trying until I know I've exhausted every bit of effort. But yeah, astral incarnate, you said action is the second most important thing. You can communicate about problems all you want, but if you don't act to fix them, then all the communication in the world doesn't matter. That's also true. A lot of times, once you communicate, you will have to do something. Right? Now, what that is, you might come to that conclusion. The conversation might point you to what it is that you have to do. But, yeah. Once you get figured out what it is you need to do that thing. Act upon it. And what you'll find is, you will feel better because you tried. You will feel better regardless of the outcome. If you try and it just all goes to garbage anyway, you will still feel better for trying. If you don't try and it all falls apart, then you always have in the back of your mind, well, maybe I didn't try as hard. Maybe I didn't, do all that I could. What if I would have tried this? What if I would have done that? What if I would have done what we talked about? Da-da-da-da-da. And there'll be all these questions and they can drive you crazy. And what it does is it starts to create the habit of you running away. And running away, in my opinion, is not the answer. The answer is facing it and doing what you can. And you're already doing that. It sounds to me like you are, you're still with your girlfriend. And you're asking us, you already are taking action to figure out, to do some reconnaissance, to try and figure out what kind of approach I should take. And I'm really proud of you for that. But here's the thing. What we've said, go back and listen to what Ryan said. He had a lot of great stuff. Talk to your girlfriend, figure out maybe the best way to approach this, the landscape. But then once you get figured out what it is you need to do, don't hesitate too long. Just grab a hold and do it. Because the longer you hesitate, the bigger the monster becomes. It's amazing. But the sooner you act, once you get figured out what you need to do, the more you will develop the habit of taking action when action needs to be taken. The longer you take, the more you start to develop the habit of running away. And that just leads to a habit in a lot of areas of life of just running away. And that's not a healthy habit, I don't think, in my opinion. But anyway, all right. Thank you so much for the topic, Sparrow, and I
Thank you,
wish you
Sparrow.
the best. I hope things can work out. I hope that you can get it all figured out. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I believe you can, and I believe you will try hard. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
proud of you. But anyway,
Me too. Congratulations again, by the way.
yes, congratulations. Isn't that weird to hear me congratulating somebody on a romantic relationship?
Clap, 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 clap. Way to go, Joe. You're awesome.
Oh
Congratulations,
man.
Joe. You say congratulations to another person. Seriously, you deserve an applause. Congratulations, Joe. Sorry. Anyways, moving on.
What? You didn't like
Yeah, your
Did
face
my
was telling
face
me I don't
speak a
like you
thousand
anymore. You're
I'm
like,
fired. You do this show by
don't.
yourself. Here,
All
it's the
right.
Ryan show now.
Did you fire yourself, or did you fire me?
No. You're the only one on screen now.
Oh, okay, great. I guess I'm gonna give it over to the host of the show, which isn't me. And here you go, magic. Voila.
All right, I'll come back just for right now.
Yay! See, the attitude is immediately better with you here.
Uh-huh. It's the Ryan show, hosted by Ryan.
That's right.
All right, cool. All right, so let's move on. We've got some more topics. So the urgent ones, they want to be present and they're not here. So what do? We just start up at the
Yeah, which
top.
one are we doing?
I don't know. What you want to
Yeah.
do? You're looking at the list.
Oh, well, you're trying to figure
You
it
know,
out.
I'm trying to figure it out, man. I haven't been here in 2 weeks. I lost all. I don't know how to be a host
Yeah, you don't
anymore.
have to do this anymore. That's fine.
Man,
Oh,
I'm
yeah, it's totally okay.
relearning this thing. Like
Yeah. Well, we got a couple of no preference ones. The top three are from Hatsu as just in case we run out of topics.
okay.
So,
So maybe
everything
we can
below
leave those.
that is great. How about the next one in line
Okay, that
on
would be
June
strawberry
16th?
paste,
Mm-hmm.
self-defense in life or death.
Yeah. Okay, just a quick question. Anyone who's been here with us, have we done this topic? Because I remember I mean, I'm the one that curated it, but just let me know if we did this topic or not, because my brain can't remember,
It
and I've
was
been trying
about.
to toss up whether we did or not.
It's got the constitutional right to bear arms. Da 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 da. Self-defense.
I don't think we did this one.
No. Talked about
Okay, thank
life
you.
and death
Thank you,
last
Astral.
week.
Thank you. Hmm.
Okay. All right. Self-defense
Thank
in
you, guys.
life or death. This comes from Strawberry Paste. What I'll do is oh, oops. Quick.
Oops.
Joe, get it figured out here.
Uh-oh.
All right. All right. I think I got it.
You got it, man.
I got it, man. I think I'm getting there. All right, cool. I will get this up on the screen and I will read it aloud and you guys can read along with me. So, this is Self-Defense in Life or Death from Strawberry Paste. And it reads as follows. This is an ethical question of self-defense when life is on the line. In this country, there's a constitutional right to keep and bear arms. This is, as I understand it, to protect the people of the country from any potential invasion and from this country's own government. It also provides citizens the equipment to defend themselves and others from other people who seek to do harm. That last point is where my questions lie. Is it ethically okay to kill someone in self-defense? By expansion, is it okay to come to the aid of another who is being attacked and potentially kill the attacker? It is often taught that one should not draw their firearm in a self-defense situation unless they are prepared to kill the offending party. Once a situation develops that far, it is often too dangerous to the defending parties to try to just maim the bad guy. Furthermore, is it ethically right to not be armed, provided you are someone who is capable of arming him or herself in such a way? and competent enough with their arms? Or would it be better to just let oneself or other innocent people be killed by an attacker? To live and let die, or die and let die? Thank you for your thoughts. I know this is a different kind of topic than I have heard on the show before. Sorry if it's a sensitive topic, but I know you have covered other sensitive topics before as well, so I hope this one is okay. SPPS, Joe should be happy. It's not romance.
It's not romance.
It's not romance. You're absolutely right. And thank you, Strawberry Paste,
funny.
for sending a non-romantic topic. But that's, hey, you know what? Whatever. I can handle romantic topics. You just might get to witness my blood pressure go up a little bit.
Ooh.
And this is an interesting topic. Ethically speaking, I can say so. If the question is it ethically okay to kill someone in self-defense? In my opinion, the answer is yes. Because if it's you or them, if you are being attacked and they are going to kill you, or they seem like they're going to kill you, then to defend yourself by ending their life, that is ethically okay, in my opinion. We would learn in Krav Maga that the Krav Maga is an Israeli martial art. It's the deadliest martial art that exists. And we would the idea, but well, first of all, I should say this. I found a shirt that I really would like to have. It said on there, Krav Maga, the art of folding laundry with people in it.
That's great. I like that.
And it's pretty
That's
true,
great.
actually. There's a lot of interesting moves, but they would teach us, how to defend yourself. And the whole idea was not to have a conflict, right? But to be prepared to end a conflict quickly. And the idea was to end the conflict as quickly as possible by inflicting as much pain as possible. Because when someone's in a lot of pain, they are incapacitated and cannot do anything, right? So you inflict pain, and in a way, you probably save their life. Because they're in so much pain, they can't do anything. So you didn't have to kill them to end the conflict. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting, though. I've gone through different phases of my life where I would feel empowered and be like, okay, if somebody tried to kill me, I would kill them first. If I've gone through other phases in my life where it's like, man, if somebody wants to kill me, bring it, please.
That's
Like,
kind of different reason. Yeah, it's just
I would love it if you
not a
would-
matter of ethics.
Yeah, like Kyle's Ryan's brother Kyle lives near a city that's got a reputation for violence and crime and stuff like that, right? And so, like, when I was staying over there, I'd toy around with the idea of maybe I'll just go down and just like walk around the streets and like till somebody decides
what
to
happens.
mug me, and then I'll just like stick my head in their face and be like, "Yeah, do it. I dare you. I dare you." You will go to prison.
gosh.
Have fun, like, and you'll end my suffering. No, but anyway, at any rate, short answer, yes, it is ethically okay to defend yourself. And it is ethically okay to defend another person. In fact, sometimes there are people who would be of the opinion that if we don't come to the aid of somebody who's being attacked, then that's wrong on us. If we have the ability to defend somebody who's being attacked and we don't, then that is a sin of omission in some people's opinions, right? Now, in my opinion, you have to kind of gauge situations on whether you want to get involved. Sometimes it's blurry. You got to make split-second decisions, and it can be tough when you're in those areas where it's like, I don't know what to do. I mean, sometimes everything's happening so fast. Somebody is, being violent, and I don't know. In my opinion, what I would do if I saw somebody being attacked, what I would probably do is just like step in between them if I could, or make a lot of noise and yell at them and say, "Hey, what are you doing?" And then walk over there.
Mm-hmm.
Because and then get to the bottom of it and then try and de-escalate the situation. But sometimes you can't, and so you might need to, take physical action. But either way, I think ethically, if somebody is attacking another person, whether it be you, someone you love, or somebody that you see who might be at a disadvantage, then for me, I would want to do something about that to protect, to defend the person who's being attacked. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the right thing to do, in my opinion. So, I don't know. Maybe I don't know if I took Ryan's words from his mouth, but I'm going to turn it over to him and see what he has to say. So, Ryan,
Sure. Well,
it's
I'll
all
give it
yours,
my
buddy.
best. I mean, obviously, as Nyansai said, context matters a lot, of course. Every situation has its own nuances. But Strawberry Pace, I'll give you my best. It's a tough question because there's so many different possible scenarios. So the best thing you can do is lay down some rules, some ideals, and follow those, I think. And so I'm under a lot of the same opinion that Joe was saying. Some of this is an opinionated response, right? I'm a Catholic Christian. I value life. I value the protection of the innocent. I think that if someone's out to kill another person, um, it's an interesting scenario because as a Catholic, I am under the understanding that people can change, right?
Mm-hmm.
Someone who goes out and kills someone isn't always a killer. They might one day become someone who helps the world in a way that's really valuable, right? And so recognizing that is important. But the thing is, in the moment where they are the killer, stopping them from doing that is not only a stopping someone from killing another person, not only is that a what's the word? An ethical thing to do for the people you're protecting, but it's a to some degree an ethical thing you can do for the person who is trying to kill other people.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you end someone's life before they get to kill, you've done them a service. You've done their soul a service of not actually letting them have blood on their hands.
Mm.
And to me, I think that's a valuable way to look at this as well. And that's probably something that a lot of people would probably pass over and dismiss because I don't know, it's a rather nuanced concept, but I think it's valuable. So I always try to find the result that helps everybody the most, right? Including my enemies, right? And so that's where my mind goes. It's like I'm actually helping my enemy by changing their actions so they can't be evil. And by not allowing them to be evil, they are forced to, at least to some degree, be a slightly better person. The people that have wronged me in the past, the thing I wish upon them is a better heart. And I want them to have joy in their life and to have love in their life and to be able to love, right? And so that's sort of one thing that I think about here in this kind of situation. But it's an interesting thing because first of all, not everybody's innocent, right? Um, and so you might jump into the middle of something expecting to save someone's life, and you find out later that you jumped in at the wrong moment and you didn't get the full story, and you just stop. you just cause something worse, right? So it's a hard thing when you're in a heated moment. It's a heated moment when lives are on the on the table. It's hard to think things through and make the right action.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I would tend towards using. I know that this isn't necessarily what I'm again, I'm not into guns all that much. I don't hate them. I'm not anti-guns or anything, but I don't have any license or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
But and so I'm not an instructor. But I think it does a lot better to de-escalate anything than it does to end the escalation through traumatic or an intense or over an unnecessary act, right? And so just like Joe said, usually what I do when I encounter a problem like this, I put myself in it. But I put myself in it in such a way that it de-escalates and it first it changes people's orientation, then it de-escalates, right? People are fixed in their heat, fixed in the heat of the moment, right? And when you call out from the sideline and you start walking in, they don't know whose side you're on. And if you got an intense face on, you're willing to get in this. You disorient people when you do that.
Mm.
And it really catches people off guard and it forces them to sort of like reposition themselves. It reposition themselves physically, which is a big deal, and then reposition themselves mentally because now they have a new thing to think about, right? And so you're coming in, right? And then all of a sudden you have now you are the target that's being looked at. Now you have the ability and the authority to de-escalate from that moment. And that's usually what I do in these kind of scenarios. Now, I haven't been in too many, but I've been in a few. And I'll say that only one of them has had a gun involved, and it was never actually pointed at anybody. So, it's kind of different, right? I've never been actually in the situation where there was a true I've never been in a situation, I don't think most people ever have or ever will be in a situation where you will actually be put under the call to save someone's life by taking another person's life. I think it's such a rare possibility because so many other routes can be taken before that point happens. Things got to get sincerely messed up, if that's the case. Usually, people imagine it like, oh, someone breaks into your house and they have a gun, right? And then they're trying to steal stuff and they aim it at someone, and it's like, what do you do? It's like, it's a mental exercise, but generally those things don't really happen very often. Can they happen? Sure. Do they happen? Sure. Again, I think context is important. And so, unfortunately, I can't give a very good answer to this, but I think about there's always like, scenarios that people will pose to you. If if this scenario happens, what do you do? And I usually think about things and I'm like, you don't always have two options. There's usually another option. There's usually an infinite number of options, if you will, including shouting, I like dinosaurs, right? There's technically an infinite amount of options to anything. It's like, oh, there's a person on the railroad track and you can either go left or right. But if you go right, you kill your loved one, and if you go left, you kill a innocent family. Which do you choose? And it's like that kind of question. It's like there aren't two answers. there's I jump off the train. That's technically an answer.
Mm.
And there's I jump in front of the train and make it go off of the tracks and then run over, kill myself and no one else. Something like that, right? There's all sorts of really weird responses someone could give. And so my point is, theoretical questions like this are important because they at least get you in a position, get you practiced when the moment happens. But you don't want to theoretically trap yourself. And what I mean is, if you paint a picture in your brain enough that you're going to get into a situation where someone's going to get killed if you don't act, if you paint that picture in your brain enough, at some point or another, you're going to kill someone when you didn't need to.
Mm.
Because will you will assume things, your brain will be like triggered emotional intense high whatever response, and just like, oh, I've been through this drill 100 times in my head, I kill this person. It's like, whoa, hold on. You are manipulating the scenario that's actually going on into what you've imagined would happen, right? And so I would say there's a certain amount of theoreticalness to examine, and try to pose different circumstances and see how do you react, what's the best thing to do. But if you play the card too much, you can trap yourself into doing more harm than is what's necessary, because you think something bad is happening, then when something worse, sorry, you're thinking the worst case possible when it's not even the worst case possible. You're just casting it onto the moment, if you will.
Mm.
So anyways, again, what's the ethics of it? It's hard to say, because some amount of that deals with law, some amount of that deals with religion, and it's not like it's unethical to kill in the circumstance where it's good to do so. It's quote a sin to murder, right? It's a sin to murder, and our government agrees with that. And so they say, don't murder people, you go to jail, right? And but ethically, killing someone in the country that we're in, generally it's okay. It's permissible, so long as the scenario is actually painted correctly to what's in your mind. And the problem is, you can't always trust what's in your mind.
Mm-hmm.
You can't always trust, like, people will experience something that's incredibly intense. And then when you question them what happened later, because it's so intense, their mind fills like gaps, or gaps are created, and we remember things wrong or inaccurately. We jump the gun on certain things. Um, to wield the power of someone's life in your own hands is I think it's a bit of an intense. I don't know how to say it better. It's kind of like, who are you to make that decision, you know? And well, I think if you're trying to protect someone, then you're the good guy. But if you're just judging someone in a heat of a moment, I mean, that you could be wrong, and that's not great. So, anyways, my thought is, if you've got arms, you can always fire it into the air and be like, hey, and call people's attention and then de-escalate. My go-to is always just de-escalation. And if I get killed because I'm de-escalating, well, guess what? I didn't sin. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And if the other person gets killed because they are innocent, or, innocent bystander, they get killed, it's like, okay, it's fine. Why? It's fine for them. Their soul is fine. The person whose soul is not fine is the one who killed, right? Obviously. And so you're protecting the killer if you kill them, in a way. You're protecting their soul. And so I look at things from that lens. It's a very religious lens. I recognize that other people don't see it that way necessarily because they're not religious, but I look at those ends. I look at the actual end. And the end is continuation of soul. And the state of that soul matters. So I that's what I consider when I think about these things. And so if you can protect a killer by killing them before they kill someone, it's technically a good. But if you get killed because you're trying to do the right thing or de-escalate a scenario, and you weren't sure whether it was a good idea to pull out your gun because you don't know the full story yet, and you get killed, or someone else gets killed, you've done nothing wrong. and that's okay. It's okay to have done nothing wrong. And it's okay to not know what the answer is in that heat of that moment, in the heat of that moment. Um, so yeah, I always aim to de-escalate before I aim to fire, you know. But anyways, that's what I got. I know that it's not very um, sufficient. I know it's not necessarily a very uh, what's the word? Satisfactory answer,
Mm,
spelled out in a clean way, because I don't know, you're dealing with people's lives. So
mm-hmm,
just try to do the right thing always. That's basically the bottom line. Protect the people you care about or the people you don't. Protect all lives if you
mm-hmm,
can. Stop people who are trying to hurt others. Stop them from hurting others. Other people who are trying to kill people. Stop them from killing people. Yeah, for sure. That's ethical, and in fact, it's good. It's good for them, and it's good for all the people you're protecting too. So, I mean, I think I could lay it out as simply as that, but it might not answer your question the way you want it answered. So I apologize for that. Anyways, that's what I got. I'm gonna give it back to you, Joe.
thank you. I I don't have much to say other than what I've already said.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say that in this type of situation, some of the things that you that kind of got drilled into our heads in the martial arts world was if somebody's attacking you with a knife, and they would train us how to disarm somebody with a knife, right? They would train us
Mm.
how to handle that situation. But the first thing they always said to us was, "You are going to get cut."
Mm.
So don't be surprised when you get cut, right? And so some of the
Right.
training when they would have these dummy knives, right, or whatever, then
Mm-hmm.
one component that sometimes would happen was they would get water and cover our arms and hands with water so they were slippery. So like it'd be like if we were bleeding, right? So they're trying to put us in these scenarios because they're like, you are going to get cut. So you're going to be handling somebody and your hands are going to be slippery and it's going to be painful and there's going to be all this stuff happening, right? And you're going to be working through this. Another thing they would do to us is like in certain scenarios they'd make us spin around a whole bunch of times really fast and look at the ground, you know?
Mm.
And then they'd say, "Okay, stop." And then you would stand up and you're all disoriented and the world is spinning around you. And then somebody's like throwing punches at your face. And your job is to like block their punches when you're all disoriented. So they'd be trying to put us in these situations because when you're in those moments, it's not like watching those moments.
Yeah, that's
You're
true.
in the moment. And it's a lot different than watching it from the outside and saying, oh, well, I would act this way if I was in that situation. Well, when you're in it and you're dealing with all the variables in that scenario, it can be pretty intense, right? And there's a lot of different crazy stuff that you can deal with. But so they would tell us, you're going to get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And I will tell you the same thing. If you find yourself in this situation, be ready that you might get hit on the head, you might get shot in the shoulder, there might be something that happens to you that hurts. So be prepared for that. And the other thing is, if you do end up killing someone in self-defense, that doesn't mean that legally your problems are just gone. Because there will be investigations and there will be time out of your life and there will be, meetings with magistrates and judges and lawyers and all kinds of stuff, right? Like it's going to complicate your life to do that. Because when we take another person's life, there are a lot of questions that need to be answered and there's a lot of investigation that needs to be done and they want to get to the root of the problem. And even if you are acting fully in self-defense, that doesn't mean that the investigation just isn't going to happen. There's still going to be a great complication added to your life for a while because you took that action. So And they would tell us about those ramifications. Now I don't even know. Like there's no way I don't think that anybody could prepare me. I've never killed anybody. I've killed animals before, like hunting or whatnot.
Animals are
But
people too. No, okay, wait, that's not right.
um,
Never mind.
I've killed fish while fishing. I killed bugs with a
Oh
fly
man,
swatter. You know,
I don't do that. I
I
don't do
know,
that.
right? Man, I've
I always shame Joe whenever he does it.
he does.
I tell him, you kill it, you eat it.
Even a mosquito.
Yeah, you kill it, you eat it, man.
No,
Well, then you're just
I
awful.
kill
I
it.
mean,
I kill it.
you're a
It
bully.
I kill it and it doesn't have to worry about surviving, which is one of the hardest things that any being has to deal with in this world, right? So anyway, but I don't even know where to start when it comes to some of the psychological things that happen. What you hear about people who have killed other people and what happens in their mind,
Yeah.
even in self-defense situations like that. Like, oh, like it comes with a lot of baggage that I can't even begin to unpack because I've never been there, right? They tried to prepare us some for some of these situations when I was in martial arts, but like psychologically, I don't think that anybody is really prepared for that. But anyway, ethically speaking, I would say yes. Is it the right thing to do? It probably depends on the situation, and de-escalation is always preferable because if you can save everybody's life, then that is ideal. And yeah, oh, cat, I've done that too. Killed a deer with my car.
Yeah, it happens. It happens.
It happens. And apparently there's this BSS trolley problem. Did you see that in the chat?
Yeah, I saw that.
Did you know about that before this?
No.
Me neither. I was like, huh. Man, I need to spend more time in the Static P friend server. I can see what they're coming up with here. But yeah, anyway.
Yeah, maybe Cat just made it up just now. Yeah.
I don't know. James seemed to be in on it.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
Kat and James both seem to know about it. Like, I don't know. Either way, I would handle the trolley just fine.
Yeah. Oh wait. Yeah. Because yeah. James has brought it up, and then Kat can. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I think it's a thing, I guess.
Yeah, Ryan is sleeping peacefully and is unaware of the danger, but Joe wants to be hit by the trolley.
Yeah. Yeah. One thing I keep in mind when it comes to something like this, though, the questions of ethics, you can only do you can only do your best to be your best in those moments, right? Standing up for what's right and going against what's wrong will prepare you for that. And you hope that you're on the right side when it happens because you don't know the full context when something like that happens sometimes. And you could be caught on the wrong side of it and you get lawyers on you and you go to jail for life, and that's not great. So one thing one thing I'd say is just try to be the best person you can be. That's all you can do. When it comes to Joe talking about the Krav Maga and fighting and getting stabbed, and that's something that I've worked through in my head enough times that I've submitted, like, if someone comes and I have to protect someone and they've got a knife or a crowbar or a gun or whatever, they shoot me, I don't just stop. I keep running at them, right? And I will tackle them even if I'm shot. And I will do my best to disarm them, to unarm them, right? Even if I'm shot, even if I'm stabbed, whatever it is. Because chances are I'm running at a weapon that's aimed to kill me. It's going to kill me, but at least I can do my part, right? And I've committed to that. That's in my head, and that's what I'm going to do. And the first person that taught me that was my brother, because he told me, how to handle that. He's like, if someone comes to this house, he's like, I'm just running. I'm scaring the crap out of them. I'm just gonna be crazy. I'm like, that's right. You probably would. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense actually. So yeah. Um, but yeah, it's just like Kat said. Yeah, it's easy to talk about this kind of thing, but it's a whole different story when you're actually in the situation, and
Mm-hmm.
that's the case.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so whatever you're committed to, that's hopefully what you'll stick to. And if you are the kind of person that puts yourself on the line for other people in your everyday life, or at least every week, for the sake of another person, then you're probably going to be the person that reacts correctly in those scenarios. Because when those heat of the moments happen, you don't have time to prepare and mentally think out the battle plan. It's there, and you're just going to react. That's it. You're just going to react
Mm-hmm.
because you don't have seconds to think. And so your reaction is going to be what your default is. And so you just try to be the best person you can be, and so that your default is the best it can be.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's all you got. That's all you got. You've only got a split second. You don't have time to think. So,
Right. Right. And a lot of times those situations come as a shock and a surprise.
yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
so you do kind of default back to instinct and default mode, I guess, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. But anyway, man, that was a good topic. Thank you. I
Yeah,
really
thanks.
appreciate I really
Sorry, Pace,
appreciate
you're
that.
awesome. You always come up with really good topics. We love you. You're
Mhm.
awesome. Thank you.
Yep. And yeah. Hopefully what we said made sense
Yeah.
and everything. So,
Yeah, I
anyway,
don't know if it
thank
brought
you.
you any closer to your question being answered, but no, thanks for the topic. At the very least, it's a fun thing to talk about to some degree. It's important to think about these types of things
Mhm.
time to time because they're
Yep.
real. They can happen.
That certainly can. But yes, thank you so much, Strawberry Paste. You're amazing. And we got time for one more. What do you think?
Let's do it.
All right. All right. We're gonna do the next one. Next in line
Oh,
from June
sh-
17th.
sure. Let's do it.
All right. This is called Work, Play, and Sleep from Senna.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I'm excited. I haven't heard from Senna in a while. Like this would be
Mm-hmm.
good. So anyway, yeah. I will go ahead and get the topic up on the screen here.
Yeah.
Um da, 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 da,
Ooh, a
da,
Senate
da, da.
topic.
A Senna topic, yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Senate seems to be doing well. So.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
Good, good. All right. So yes, Senna is
Sena's getting
awesome.
all the love in the chat.
Yeah. And well deserved.
Mm-hmm.
So this is from Senna. This is called Work, Play, and Sleep. And it reads as follows. Have you ever went to bed, laid down, and thought, I could be working right now? Lately, I've been obsessing over completing artwork to make a proper portfolio that shows my actual skill level. I've been working on one for weeks because I want it to be the best I have to offer. I also do a lot of video editing. This takes up most of my time. I wake up, I eat and brush my teeth, grab a glass of water, sit at my desk, and work until I go to sleep at 4 a.m. It might seem a bit silly as it is currently not lucrative financially, but I want it to be in the future, and that's why I'm working hard. However, I obviously sleep terribly because it's late and because I can't help but think I should have accomplished more during the day. I also miss being able to enjoy when I play video games. If I play video games, I think I should be working. When I'm working, I think how much I wish I could be relaxing with a game. In here lies the conflict, lol. I thought maybe this was a good topic and discussion might help others who might act similarly, but with something like schoolwork or other things. It's a general bad mindset of it being hard to take a break, and it also being hard to enjoy the break if you do. And if you don't enjoy the break, is it really a break at all? LOL. P.S. Sorry I couldn't phrase this in the form of a question. Love you all. Bye. And that is from Senna.
Thanks,
Uh,
Senna.
yeah, thank you so much. And I can totally relate to the lack of sleeping thing. Um, it's the guys just reminded me of this actually. We had a get together on Saturday because Jesse was in town, and like
Mm-hmm.
they're like, Joe, remember when you tried to sleep like 3 hours a
Oh
night?
yeah. Mm-hmm. I remember it. You remember it
I
with vivid
remember.
detail.
Yes, I
There are
do.
parts you don't remember.
There are parts I don't remember that then I remembered. I remember it being a bad idea.
Mm-hmm.
But the whole idea was like, and I felt similarly, like, how can I sleep? I've got so much to do. Like, I've got so much I need to do that I want to do, and I can, like, this sleep is getting in my way. I need to figure out how little sleep I can survive on because I know the experts say you need 8 hours of sleep. And then they say, well, you need at least six. And then they say, well, you need six, between 6 and 12. And the point is, like, we're all built a little bit differently, right? And so, like, and depending on what stage of life we're in, we might need more or less sleep, right? And,
Mm-hmm.
oh, James, you're calling me out with my own quote? Man, you are a human being, not a human doing.
Mm-hmm.
It's true, but I got stuff that needs to be accomplished and I wanted to get it done. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to try 3 hours of sleep. We're going to see if I can get and if I can get less than that, then I'll move in that direction. But I had already had some success with 4.5 hours of sleep per night. And I was surviving okay and doing whatever, doing all right, and then I was like, I'm going to try three. Let's try three because I had learned somewhere that a REM cycle is 90 minutes. And so I'm like, well, if I sleep 90 minutes, that's, that's one sleep cycle. And I should wake up and be totally refreshed. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Or, and I was like, I gave myself 2 sleep cycles because 3 hours is 90 minutes times 2. Right. So I was like, hey, I'll give myself 2 sleep cycles, 3 hours, and it'll be great. But
Mm.
man, weird stuff started happening after a couple weeks. Started waking up in weird places, doing weird stuff. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's weird.
Yeah, don't do
Like
that.
you don't do that. I'd woken up I'd woken up on the floor numerous times, outside. Like I'd go to sleep in my bed and I'd wake up in a different room on the floor. Right?
Right. That's great. It's a good start.
That's a great start, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so anyway, yeah.
I like waking up in weird places. Yeah.
Great. Me
Well, I
too.
like waking up in weird places only if I go to bed in that weird place.
And can remember going to bed in that weird place.
Yeah, yeah.
It
One time
helps.
I slept under a pool table. That was very uncomfortable because, well, we put a bunch of we put a bunch of pool balls under us. No, we put a bunch of pillows under us, and they were all different sizes. And I woke up with a very painful back. It was not
Mm.
great.
Mm-hmm.
Not good.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But Senna, I can totally relate. I can totally relate to the feeling of wanting to work and wanting to get stuff done and be productive. And, thinking in my mind that sleep was in the way, that sleep was an obstacle that I had to overcome. And what I've learned over time is that I can be more productive with the time I have if I get more sleep, partly because my brain is just in a better spot,
Mm.
right? One of the first things when I started seeing my therapist was she asked how much sleep I got, and I was like, 4.5 hours of sleep. I sleep 4.5 hours a night, and I kind of wore that like a badge of courage, right? Like I don't need to
Mm-hmm.
sleep. Sleep is for the weak, man. Like I don't need sleep, like, and but she was
I
like,
like that line though. Sleep is for the weak because we all get weak. We need to go to sleep.
this is true. This is true. Um, we do, and you're right, Meow. We do function with good sleep. We function better with good restful sleep, right? And so
Mm.
she told me, she's like, you need to sleep 7 hours per 24-hour period. I don't care if you do it all in one chunk or in multiple chunks right now. We're gonna get you to the point where it's 7 hours in one chunk. But if for right now, because you're such in the habit of sleeping 4.5, if you wake up and get up and start doing stuff, you just have to take a 2.5 hour nap later. So, but she started to make me incorporate this in, because here's the thing: exhaustion exacerbates depression. And that was my biggest problem when I went and started seeing my therapist, was that there was severe depression that I was dealing with, right? And so she was like, okay, we're going to take care of these physical things first. How much water are you drinking? What kind of stuff are you eating, and how much? And how much are you sleeping? And so we're going to take care of these ones first and get those out of the way, so then we can start dealing with the other causes for depression without all this extra stuff. So I've been pretty good about getting 7 hours of sleep ish. So sometimes, most of the time I'll sleep 6 to 7 hours of sleep a night now. When I'm going through, if I've got a lot of stuff going on, got my schedule is really busy, then I might have a night or two where I only sleep 4.5 hours, but then the next night I'll make up for it or whatever, or I'll get 7 the next night. But I do feel better, and I do feel like I can. The work that I do is of higher quality with better sleep. So anyway, that's kind of where I'll start and leave that, and I'm going to turn it over to Ryan and see what he has to say. So Ryan, it is all yours, my friend.
Sure. I'll try to keep it short for you. I would say, first off, read a lot of the chat. Nyansai has been saying a lot of important things. Keep in mind, Nyansai is an artist as well. So they know about the portfolio stuff and how to navigate that a little bit better than I would. I've never really had to do much portfolioing. I've tried to do a little bit with music when I was just starting music with like MIDI tracks. I can tell you I didn't get into anything. Um, no one offered me anything. But anyways, I think that's a good place to go, is just look at the chat. There's some good stuff there. Also, take advantage of the fact that you have a lovely man in your life known as Bear, who can Barrow, Jiro, who you can play with. So play games with them, or just chat, have fun talking. Because one of the problems that you might run into is if you're trying to work and then you start playing and you're not having fun, you're probably trying to play by yourself. But if you find someone to play with, playing becomes something, what's the word? Valuable. Because you can say without a doubt in your mind that the relationships you have are valuable. The friendships you have are valuable, and the time you spend making them better or investing in them is valuable and is worth it, right? So it's one thing you can do is, if your mind is always on work, if you can put some time into spending playtime with friends, it will allow your brain to start making room for it, especially if you put it on a schedule. You'll make room for it, and then at some point your brain will go, you know what, I actually like playing now. I actually like going and playing, and my brain isn't always fixed on my work. I can actually enjoy my playtime because I recognize the value in it. Because my brain has had time to submit that, or to recognize, or to experience that it is a valuable thing in life. Another thing to add on to this topic, I've talked about this a few times in stream, but I'm not sure if you've ever heard it, Senna. There have been many, 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 many studies done that continue to show that if you take a day off of work, the amount of work you get done is higher than if you don't take a day off of work. They have done a lot of studies, and I think it's between It's like 10 or 15%. People are 10 or somewhere between 10 and 15% more productive if they take an entire day off of work instead of working for that entire day. The rest of the week, they're so much more productive that they make up a whole day and 15 or a whole day and 10%. Like a day, and that's pretty awesome. A day and a little bit more if they just take one day off. And so keeping that in mind, obviously, probably that's something you already know, and that's why you're bringing this to us. But keeping that in mind, like I think it was Mialado was saying, it will it will make you. My attempt is to make you want to take a break because it will make your work better. Take that break because it's going to make your work better. Also, it's just good for your sanity. It's good for your morale. It's good for everything. If you get so caught up in the value of work that you can't see yourself through it, but you only see yourself by it, you will destroy yourself. Because you will never hold up to what you desire, no matter who you are. If the way you value yourself, the way you determine how valuable you are, if the way that you look at yourself depends upon how much you get done, how much work you've done that day, how productive you are as a human being, how successful you are, if those things are how you look at yourself and rate yourself at the end of the day, if that's how you rate your day, oh, how good was my day? Oh, I got this done. And that's all you do, then you're going to create someone in the end who not only hates working, but also hates yourself. Because in the end, you will become someone who is dissatisfied with yourself because you don't do enough, because you can never do enough. And you'll start hate doing, and then you'll stop doing, which will make you hate yourself even more. And that is not a fun road to go down. So just as a precaution, I'm not saying that's guaranteed to go down that road, but I've seen a lot of people go down that road. It's not so great. And so I'm just trying to avoid a possibility. I'm not saying that everyone goes through that. But just to avoid a possibility, I don't want you to rate yourself based on how much you're getting done. Yeah, burnout is a very real thing, like Astro said. At some point or another, you're going to get so burnt out. And then because you've been putting so much pressure on yourself and you still aren't meeting your expectations, meeting what you think you should be able to put out, and then the burnout happens. And then you're just depressed. And that is not fun. So it's much better to be realistic and recognize that work isn't everything in life. And it's not the point of life. It's not the point of your relationships. It's not the point of your mental health. It's not the point of everything. So I want to try to get you away from that sort of thinking if that's where your thinking is. I don't know that it is. I'm just saying if that's where your thinking is. I think that you're putting too much value on work. And you need to recognize that you're a great person, not because of how good your work is, but because you're a great person. And people here, like, your name got mentioned, and Joe, someone in the chat, myself, actually quite a few people in the chat, they're like, oh my gosh, it's Senna. Like, we love you. We're excited to hear from you. Why? We think you're an amazing person. We love you. You're an incredible person. And it's not because you put work out into the world. It's because you put yourself out into the world. And who you are and how you give yourself to people is just extraordinary and it's lovely and we love you. So, yes, work matters. Work matters a lot, sure. And work is how you put yourself out and give. Yeah, absolutely. But if you're going to bed at night and all you're thinking about is work, you're obsessing. Probably. I'm not going to diagnose you with that, but it sounds like an obsession over work. You might have an idea that, I don't know, it'll get you places. And that's fair. Work does get you places. Work gets you money, and work gets you, gets your name out and your gifts into the world. And that's great. Yeah, it's awesome. That's important. But at the same time, when you obsess over anything in life, it usually gets a little bit rough.
Mm-hmm.
Because our mind is not capable of balance anymore. And so we're not going to have fun when we play,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's going to be the consequence. You're not going to necessarily be able to keep up your relationships as well. You're not, this, that, the other thing. It can go down the drain because of an obsession. And so clear your mind from the obsession if you can. Obviously, keep getting work done. That's great. But it's okay. Like, tell yourself, it's okay it's okay when you don't get as much done as you wanted to get done. You're always going to want to get more done. That's okay too. You're always going to want to get more done. Of course you are. That's going to be your whole life. Always, of course. Of course, you're always going to want to get more done.
Mm-hmm.
That's built into you. But don't let that feeling drive your life. Tell yourself it's okay when you don't meet that expectation. It's just an expectation. It's not reality. Love yourself in reality. Don't love yourself in the ideal, impossible world that you think you can achieve of what, and don't live that life that way either, right? I mean, obviously we want to shoot for the ideal. That's great. And we should be pointed towards the ideals. Yes. They should guide us in our actions. Yes. But don't obsess over one facet of it, because there's so many facets in life that make you an incredible person. And you have to be okay, because at the end, no one's going to judge you because you didn't get enough work done. They're going to be like, wow, Senna's awesome. She's a fantastic person. She's always very loving, helpful, kind, So work, important. Absolutely. It's part of how we share our gifts with the world. Absolutely. It's a great thing. Just don't rate yourself on it. Don't get obsessed. Let it be okay that some days you just don't get as much work done as you hope to. That's normal. Because everyone deals with that. That's okay. That's a normal reality. So anyways, that's it. I hope that's helpful, Senna. I try to keep it short. I'm gonna give it over to Joe.
I don't know what else I can add to that. Thank you, Ryan. That was awesome. And Senna, like Ryan said, you are awesome, and we love you. And whatever standards you have for yourself, like keep in mind that we don't look at those standards when we're deciding whether or not that we love you.
That's true.
Like because you are
We have
you
no idea
and
what those
you're
standards
incredible, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. But I will say one thing, when it comes to sleep and when it comes to rest and it comes to, all these different things we're talking about, and they kind of play into each other and create kind of a downward spiral with this situation, because we're stressed about how much we wish we were getting done. And so when we're trying to rest, we're thinking about work, we're obsessing about work, and we're stressed about it, right? And it's keeping us up and we can't sleep. And here's the other problem. When we don't sleep enough, our body creates a hormone called cortisol.
Yay, cortisol.
Cortisol is the stress hormone.
Yay.
I learned about this through exercise programs, actually, because they would teach. I was like, man, if I work out more, like I'll be able to, like I'll get my results faster. I'll see physical results faster in my physique, right? And that's not the case. You need rest, because cortisol makes you store fat. It puts your body in survival mode. It puts your body in stress mode, and so it stores more fat for later consumption because it's under stress and it feels like there's, impending danger of not being able to eat. And so it stores more. And so like by not sleeping, I was getting my results were slower coming. Right? And so I learned I learned this through an exercise program, but it applies to lots of other things too. Because cortisol, the stress hormone, also inhibits our ability to feel confident. And, all these different things, like our lives tend to go better when we produce less cortisol. We're more confident, we're less stressed, we, are in better shape. And all these things due to, one thing we could do is just get more sleep. And it would reduce all these problems. And I was like, holy cow. So that cemented it into place, like, okay, then I guess, this is just part of my training program. Sleep is part of it. Sleep is part of your career. It's part of working toward your goals. Unplugging yourself from work and resting is a key part of your goals, of your career goals, of your life goals, all this kind of stuff. Because the better, the more confident you are, the less stressed you are, the more productive you'll be, and the better you will feel. And what's the point of succeeding if we feel terrible about it? Or if we feel terrible in general?
That's a good point. Oh, man.
Mm-hmm. I mean, like, so if I'm the type of person that likes checklists and tasks and stuff like that. I like to make tasks and all this kind of stuff, right? And then check them off. I feel productive. I can make sleep something on my checklist because it's something that is a task that's critical to success. Critical. And I love what Neonsai was saying. I don't have to scroll up a little bit. Let's see. I love what you said, Neonsai, about input and output as artists. When you're creating, you're outputting. When you're playing and exploring, you're inputting. And the input is good for your energy and your inspiration and stuff like that. I love that. But there was something else, I think.
Is it the thinking about work is working?
No. Maybe.
Sandra, by the way, I would just take this moment again, read chat, because there's a lot of good stuff in here from Meow, Neonsai, Meowgalis, Astral. Everyone's said some really good things, so Saole as well.
There was something. Oh, if you don't sleep, you'll become weak. It's not weak. Sleep makes us stronger. Yes, it's absolutely true. Yeah, I don't know. Neonsai, maybe it was the input and the outputting thing. Input is important for energy and inspiration. It also widens your imagination. Yeah. So anyway, but there was a lot of good stuff in the chat, like Ryan was just saying, and and it's true. The more we focus on working and producing and all this kind of stuff, we will just grind ourselves down to nothing. And I think Astral said it in the chat that burnout like can take a long time to recover from. That's absolutely true.
Yes. Yeah.
Physical
Yeah.
burnout can take a long time to recover from. And mental and emotional burnout can take a long
Mhm.
time to come from. I'm dealing still with emotional burnout from 20 years
Yep.
of a relationship that was
I've seen
basically
burnout last
shoving.
years,
Mm-hmm.
and emotional burnout. I've seen emotional burnout last like as short as half a year.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's short. So you don't want it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I've been in therapy almost 2 years, right? With this emotional burnout from shoving all this stuff down for years and years and years and years and years. And then all of a sudden now dealing with it. And it it's tough. And, like your physical burnout, mental burnout, emotional burnout, all these kind of things can kind of tie together. And I think Ryan said it, when we're obsessed about something, we're not able to let ourselves enjoy stuff. Was that what you're saying? What
Mhm.
did you say about obsession? Was it something like that?
Yeah, that was good enough. Yeah, it's hard to find balance, and you're not going to enjoy something that has nothing to do with your obsession.
Right. Yeah. So like you're not going to have fun when you're playing a game if you're obsessing about something else, right? You're not going to have like it's not going to be as enjoyable for you. And so how do we undo obsession? Well, it can be a process, but generally it takes replacing the thing we're obsessed about with other things,
Mhm.
right? To take our
And
mind
letting
off
your
of the obsession,
Mhm.
to let go of it. And it can be really hard sometimes, and it can take time. A lot of times, if I have some kind of obsession, it might take me a few weeks of, retraining to get to the point where I feel like I'm not obsessing over that thing anymore. And so, this is a time of, as you're working through this is going to be a time of great grace with yourself, great patience with yourself, because
Mm.
this is a habit. And, habits become lifestyles, become, some people might call them addictions, right? But these lifestyles that we develop, they take time to replace. They take time to heal when we have something like this, and we discover that it might not be as healthy as it could be for us. And so, we determine to change it. And then so we feel like we're doing really good, and then all of a sudden, we're back in the swill again, a week later or 2 week or whatever, right? And we're just like back, our brains back there. And like, so then we start beating ourselves up, or at least I do, and I get stressed about it. And then I'm like,
For sure.
doggone it, I didn't do it. I'm failing. And no, the point is not that I'm failing. The point is this takes time, and it's a process. This is natural part. This is an occurrence that happens. We relapse, we go back, we think, we the old habit comes back. And none of us, I don't know. Like, I think for a lot of people, they'll like say, "Oh, well, you just got to make the change and cold turkey and whatever and blah blah blah." And I'm like, "Shut up. You need to have a real problem in your life." Like, seriously. Like, I'm sorry. I hope I didn't offend, but I think the human experience is, as you're working through this, you're going to have these obstacles, you're going to have these roadblocks, and that's okay. That's part of it. The
Part
the
of
point.
relapsing is is that you're trying to change something foundational, and you don't change it all at once. You have
Mhm.
to relapse multiple times in any journey to
Mhm.
actually change a foundation of something. So, because your brain has to revisit it and get corrected again in a different way, or in
Right.
the same way but harsher, or whatever it is. But when you're trying to change something foundational about the way you think about things or what your mind is on, yeah, relapse is bound to happen because
Mhm.
it's necessary.
Mhm. I agree. I agree with that. And so the point is, don't beat yourself up. It's okay. It's natural and normal. It's part of the equation.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll take time. And that's totally okay. And don't let anybody else tell you that you've failed or been a failure because of that, because I'm sure in your mind, you'll be telling yourself that enough if you're
Yeah.
anything like me. And I have to remind myself, no, it's okay. These things just take time. And they take revisiting. And each day that goes by, you're one day closer. You have fought one more fight that you don't have to fight again. And it's okay. And you will move forward. So, man, Senna, I love your artwork. I
Mm-hmm.
love who you are. You're such a wonderful person.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope some of this is helpful for you, because, man, I can relate to where you're at. I can relate to the obsession. I can relate to the desire to be productive. I can relate to the, like being kept awake by it. And I can relate to all of it. And I'm so sorry because I know it's so hard, but I also know you can get through. And I have to believe that too for myself,
Mm-hmm.
because I still go through things that I have to believe that I can make it through. And I look back on my track record and I'm like, well, I made it through that, and I made it through that, and I made it through this, and and I was able to do that. And it just takes some time, and it takes, some rearranging my brain and thinking differently, and all that over time, and I can make it. And you can make it. What?
Joe, you can pretty much get through anything now.
What?
So
Thanks,
nonsense.
Neon Side.
Yeah.
You know what? You're so kind.
You just wait till I don't.
But you know what? I'm just waiting to see what's next, right?
Yeah,
Like,
right. Yeah, I get it.
like all this. Sometimes it's crazy because you think you're going through something that's as hard as it's ever been, and like I'll tell you, like going through a divorce and all that kind of stuff. That's hard, but at the same time, I'm like, what is this preparing me for? Because it seems like the Goliaths
Mm-hmm.
that you fight in your life, they tend to get bigger,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And it's like,
Mm.
oh, I just fought this huge Goliath, and then there's another big one, like another bigger one. Like, what's that going to look like? What's that going to be all about? I don't have it. Wow, amazing. But Neonsai, you're awesome. I sure do appreciate you saying that. Um, and I would like to think that I can get through just about anything. But here's the thing, any of us can. One of the things I've realized is that life continues, whether we like it or not. And we just kind of keep being pulled along this life track. And here we are in a new situation. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, how did I find myself here? This happened, this happened, this happened. I'm stuck here. I got a bloody nose and it hurts, right? Like, I don't, like, what the heck? But life continues. The bloody nose heals. Our anger subsides to some degree until something else makes us angry. um, the heartache might not hurt quite so bad some days, but all the while, the world continues, and we all continue. And you know what? You find friends, and you find beauty, and you find people that care, and you find wonder in others, and you get to know people, and you just are amazed at the beings that these people, like I was in the VC in Static P Friends just last night, hanging out with a whole group of people, and they were so wonderful. And I'm just sitting there listening to them talk, and I'm like, man, these people are so amazing. Like, how can I even tell them?
Hmm.
You know? And you get surrounded by, like, uh I don't know. It's a wonder to me, which is really a good sign, because the wonder of life is like reawakening, right? And all these different
Mm-hmm.
wonders are coming in, and I'm just like, oh, this is cool,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's like
Yeah.
there's this moment of rebirth happening, and it's really really cool. But it's just, man. But no matter what, life continues, and a new situation is just around the corner, whatever that situation looks like. And man, but I don't know. I don't know why I went off on that tangent, but
Well,
Senna,
I
go
I was
ahead.
gonna follow up with the same similar thing. Sorry, I didn't mean to
Hmm.
interrupt. Go on.
Oh, I was just gonna say, Senna, you can make it.
Mm.
You can get past this issue,
Mm-hmm.
and I will recommend resting. I recommend going back and listening to the chat, or reading the chat and listening to what Ryan had to say, and you know, um, understand that it's okay to forgive yourself. It's okay to handle yourself with care. It's okay to take care of yourself. It's okay to let yourself rest and relax and enjoy. It's okay. So, nope, that's all. Go ahead, Ryan.
Mhm. Yeah, I just wanted to say something similar along the lines of what Miyamoto said. Um, you work really hard. You do.
Mm.
And you know, I want you to keep chasing your goals and your dreams. I mean, one of the things is when I was going through as a kid, I said there's no point in chasing goals and dreams. It's like all phony stuff. It's like I looked at my adults ahead of me and said it's all this dream goal stuff is fake because I look at the adults ahead of me and none of them made it. None of them had gotten their dreams. But then when I was in high school, something awakened in me and I realized we were made for great things. And when I bought into that, I I said, we are made for great things. We are made capable of doing great things. We are worth something. And I chose to live that way. And it's
I
only
have
because I
something to.
chose to live that way that I did I am where I am now.
Mm.
And I'm not like at the end, And I'm just a checkpoint along I'm at just a checkpoint along the way, right? And I have a lot farther to go, and so do you, Senna.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, it's like, well, I want those dreams, I want those goals, and so you set your mind into work mode. But what you find is obsessing over work isn't how you do great things,
Mm.
which is weird, but it's just not.
Mm-hmm.
Great things take work, but great things also take great people. Great things also take great reasons. And if you're too far into your work to see how you could bring that greatness to other people or be greater in other fields, you might miss the opportunity to work on something truly great. You might miss the opportunity, you might miss what was being presented to you because you were too worried about work and you're not working on the wrong thing.
Mm.
Because when you're obsessed, you can't see clearly. And I'm not saying you are obsessed. I'm just saying that seems to me the possibility. Um, but even if you're not, it seems like you are. It seems like you are from the comments you made about sleeping and constantly thinking about it. But
Well, it's in the
regardless.
topic. In the topic, Senna
Mm-hmm.
says, lately I've been obsessing over completing artwork.
Yeah.
And
Okay, there
so,
you go.
so
Okay, I don't get
obsessing
to.
is in the topic, right?
Yeah,
So,
okay. All right, good. Thanks, Joe.
uh-huh.
So, anyways, yeah, I think obviously, of course, there's so much more to life, but the fact that you desire to do great things and that's what's pulling you forward, that's amazing. And I want you to keep on trying. I want you to keep working. I want you to keep on trying. And I want you to think of yourself as a great person that can do great things because that's the truth. That's what you are. You don't have to do great things to be great. You have to be a great person to do great things.
Mm.
The doing of great things is secondary. Let me say that again. You don't have to do great things to be great. Great things are done by great people.
Mm.
You aren't great just because you did something great. You were great before, and that greatness that you are is what produces the great content, the great materials, the great actions, the great shifts in culture, the great whatever it is. And so work is secondary. Work is just the outcome of someone who's great. And you're already great. Don't get caught up into thinking that the work is what makes you great.
Mm.
And that's all I got to say.
It's true.
Mm-hmm.
As much emphasis as I put on work, I have to remind myself that hard work does not necessarily bring success.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like Ryan said, you will work to
Mm-hmm.
be successful for sure. But
Absolutely.
just endlessly working does not bring success. You got to have an idea. It doesn't even have to be an original idea, but an idea that then can, you know, you will work far less and still achieve that level of success with an idea as a multiplier on that or as an exponential like catalyst, right? So it's not necessarily just I work, and then I can be successful. I can tell you so many people who have worked their lives away in mines and factories and all kinds of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Worked and worked and worked and worked and worked until they were just worked themselves to death in some cases. But man, I don't know. I think you're on the right track, Senna.
Mm-hmm.
You're calling out an issue that you're having, and that's always the first
Mm-hmm.
step. It's just like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna call this out. I've noticed this in my life. I'm gonna call it out.
Mm-hmm.
Step
That's the
one.
best step to take.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now you can
First step.
recognize it, and you can be like, okay, now you can take the steps change, to change and have better habits and a better life. Because like I said before, like what good is our success if we don't enjoy who we are, or if you know it just stresses us out or whatever, right? What good is that? I remember a guy talking about, like he had made just countless amounts of money. He had succeeded in business in tremendous ways, and he was talking about how he had owned at one point he had 4 different houses in different areas of the country and da 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 da, and he had all this stuff and he had all these trappings and all these cars and all this just lifestyle coming out his ears, right? Because he had made all this money, and he was like, "Doggone it! These are the things I dreamed about. I wanna have it. I wanna live that life." And what he decided years later, he was just like, "You know what? Honestly, I sold all that stuff, and now I just have one house in like a middle class neighborhood, and nobody has to know that I'm wealthy. But it's just a lot simpler life than having all that extra stuff, right?" And he said the same thing. What good is success if it stresses you out? What good is success if it just causes you pain and anguish and stress and hardship and all this kind of stuff, right? What happened to peace?
Mm-hmm.
Peace is far more valuable
Yes,
than all that stuff.
it is by a lot. Long shot.
Mm-hmm. So, anyway, Senna, you are awesome. You are so awesome.
Mm-hmm.
We love you, and you have made such a difference to so many people in
Mm-hmm.
the Static P server, and you're a tremendous mod and everything. I could speak your praises for a long, long time because you are awesome.
Mm-hmm. And
And
people in the chat agree. You should read the chat. People were like, Sana, excited, talking about your ice cream stuff, and that you help influence, inspire their life, and all sorts of great things. So, um, check it out.
Yep, Senna is great. Senna, you are a gift. Thank you for being who you are.
Mm-hmm.
We love you. And hey, look, it's Samuel.
Samuel.
Hi, Samuel.
Heart.
Welcome to Don't Worry Wednesday. But yeah, so anyway, that's probably gonna be it. So thank you guys so much. You didn't have anything else to say, did you, Ryan?
No, I don't really have
You're all
anything
set?
else to say. Other
Okay.
than you guys are all amazing and we love you. And sorry that you're joining right at the end.
Yeah,
You can
yeah.
go back and watch it if you want. You
Yep.
don't have to,
Well, or maybe
but you
if you were
can.
lurking the whole time, that hey,
Oh,
great,
that's true. That's
you
true.
know. Am I going to be here next week? I'm planning on it. Baseball season is over. And so there is probably going to be a week in July that I'm not here and a week in August that I'm not here because I will have my children during the weeks. But yeah, and we'll be doing some kind of something, I'm sure. But
Good.
next week I should be here, and I'm looking forward to it because I love you guys, and it's great to be here. And man, I haven't missed very many of these, and neither has Ryan.
Yeah.
But every once in a while we do.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, it's pretty rare, but yeah.
But even still, like,
Gotcha.
even Kyle has pointed this out. Like, you guys, it's okay for you guys to take a week off or two or whatever, and not have a live stream. And it's just like we look at him like he's got two heads. Like, really?
You were like, what?
No, like
What do
we
you
have to
mean?
do. Like, no, like we got to do this every week. Like,
Yeah. We've been how many years have we been doing this now?
since 18, since like May
18.
of 2018. So it's been like
So
5 years.
5 years. Haven't missed a single week, I don't think.
Yeah, and then during COVID, we were doing it 3 days a week.
That's right.
Yep.
For a short period of time. Mm-hmm.
Yep. We should take a short
Okay.
break.
Short
Hey,
break.
you know
Yeah, you
what?
want us to come back? Is that what you're saying? Because we're about to close it down for the week. But, I think it sounds to me like you just want us to close it down for like 5 minutes.
Oh, and then come back. We should just
And then,
we should do a 24-hour Don't Worry Wednesday stream.
yeah, welcome to the impromptu 24-hour. Don't worry. And Wednesday and Thursday, I guess, if it's
We'll
24
see.
hours.
We'll see how many of you actually like hang out with us the whole time.
Yeah. I don't know who our real friends are.
Yeah,
No,
then
I'm
we'll
just
know.
kidding.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just kidding. Those who don't have jobs.
Right, exactly. Yeah,
Or
if you don't have
school.
anything to do.
I can only be friends with people who aren't in school or have it. I can only, yeah. Okay, that's not a
We
very
both
good
need to play
rule to
instruments, or else you won't show. What? What kind of
Oh,
stipulation is that?
yeah, that's pretty. I don't know. What do you call that? Conditional. I don't think I can. I don't think I can do it. I mean, it wouldn't take much effort. I could literally just, dude. All right, I
Hey, you
played an
played your
instrument.
instrument, and yeah, I have guitars right over there. I could just grab one and like.
Yeah,
Oh, you
we
need
need
sick
sick beats.
beats,
Oh,
man.
my voice is an
If we,
instrument, so I've always played an instrument.
if you want sick beats, I need a different interface situation. I
Mm-hmm.
still need to figure that out. If I'm gonna live stream drums, that's my big bottleneck right now.
Yeah.
I would love to live stream drums, but
Mm-hmm.
I have a technical problem that's preventing me from doing it. And I'm trying to figure it out.
Yeah, right, Astro.
Sick desk beats. Wait,
Sick desk
are
beats.
you? Am I now Joey to you?
It's Joe, but I guess we'll. I guess if it's Joey, that's fine. It's up to you whether you
I
like that
mean,
name or not.
I mean, my brother calls me Joey, and all of it, and so
Oh
my
man.
nieces and nephews call me Joey. Oh, because I'm cute.
Oh, because you're cute. Aw,
Stop, you're cute. I'm
that's
not
true.
cute.
I agree with that, Joe. You're right. She is cute.
Uh-huh. I mean, this here, nah, meh.
I like it. I like it.
Just a cute little guy. You know, it's so funny because
Aw.
I'm Uncle Joey.
Mm, Uncle Joey.
I'm Uncle Joey because my sister-in-law's dad, his name is Joe. And then my sister-in-law also has a brother named Joe, Joe Jr., right?
Oh my.
So, and I'm another Joe. So they had to
Mm-hmm.
differentiate. There already is Uncle Joe, and there's
Mm-hmm.
Grandpa Joe, and then there's Uncle Joey, and I'm Uncle Joey.
Oh, I see. That makes
Yes,
sense.
but
Yeah. All
awesome.
right. I'll take this one just because it's short. While we were on the topic, where do I start learning keyboard on my own? Now, if I were to start learning keyboard on my own, where should I start?
Hmm.
Um, do you read any music? If you want to read music, then you should start with sheet music and looking it up online how to read it if you don't already. If you don't care to learn sheet music, literally just sit down at a keyboard and or piano and come up with something in your head, whether it be a tune that already exists, uh like for what's the name of that? Okay, pick a song that you can think of in your head and try to play it. Just go, oh, the melody from, okay, Batman, thanks, Astral. And then you, no, 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 Batman. Okay, can I play that on the piano? And then you'll find out where the keys are, and you'll do that. And then the next, you'll learn how to play another song that comes into your head. And that's a great way to learn how to play the piano. Just sit there and figure it out. Don't get up until you've got the melody. Then eventually you'll incorporate your left hand and play the bass lines and all that. But that's where you want to start. Those are my two starting points. Yep, there you go.
cat,
Joe might have a
cat.
different answer.
No, I think that's a good. I think that's a good approach. Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Thank you for
Um.
that, Samuel.
Yeah. Yeah. Cat, are you singing a Nirvana song? So, all right.
That's great.
Anyway, all right. Thank you guys so much for being here. You're amazing. We love you so much. And we will be here next week on Wednesday with another episode of Don't Worry Wednesday. And we would
Mm-hmm.
love to have you here. And it'll be a lot of fun. And we've got topics. And if you do have a topic you would like us to talk about, go to don'tworrywednesday.com, click the submit a topic button, and fill it out. And we'd be happy to do your topic as well. So awesome. Thank you guys so much for being here. All you lurkers, we love you. Thank you for
Mm-hmm.
lurking. And you are always welcome to join the chat conversation at any point in time, or you're welcome to continue lurking. We're going to love you anyway. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So, but until next week, have a wonderful, wonderful life. And we will see you next week on Don't Worry Wednesday. Take care, you guys.
Bye now.
Bye
Peace.
bye.